Welcome, Chef Steven from Hands on Gourmet, July 5th, and I'm still feeling very patriotic. Yesterday we were talking about the scrambled egg, and today we're going to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, something very American, meatloaf. Now, meatloaf has its origins from Europe. They were making it a long time ago in Holland, Germany, and Belgium with minced meat and cornmeal and flour. It evolved into the meatloaf's cousin, the meatball, came to America, and somewhere around the early 1900s in Pennsylvania, the Dutch Pennsylvanians would take the pork trimmings and mix it again with cornmeal and flour to make meatloaf. And the whole theory behind this is to stretch out leftover ingredients or inexpensive cuts of meat to really make it economical. And much like in the Great Depression, which was very popular food, in this tough economic times, it's back to its popularity. So full circle. All right, got the history. Let's talk about making meatloaf. So the ingredients over here are some ground beef, and you'll see this ground beef is oxidized a little bit, and the reason is because it was in the freezer, and I wanted to use it up. We've got some ground pork, so 2 pounds of each. I'm doubling the recipe because I want to have some leftovers for other food. So over here we've got breadcrumbs, and then if we slide on over, we've got some sauteed onions and garlic. We've got some smoked paprika, cayenne, a couple of eggs that are loosely beaten, and some salt and pepper. And the last thing is a dash of Worcestershire sauce. So let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and throw the meat in here. And this is super duper easy. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up a little bit. We're going to throw in our breadcrumbs, our onions and garlic, smoked paprika. Let's see, I'm not going to put all of it in yet. Our cayenne, a little bit of heat, put a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. Here is our eggs. Now remember, yesterday from the egg video, we were talking about the egg is an amazing binder. The egg will help bind the meatloaf. And so I'm going to go ahead and, oh, one more thing, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and put this Worcestershire sauce in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. Now, I'm seeing I got a little difficulty here with this wooden spoon, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do is actually wash my hands. Now, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that a well-washed pair of hands is the best tool in the kitchen. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this all up. Now, I want to talk about the breadcrumbs real quick because I use panko because it seems that it absorbs liquid very well. And it also, while absorbing the liquid, kind of just disappears into foods like meatloaf and or crab cakes, so you really don't taste the breading. Some people might soak white bread in milk, but I prefer the panko breadcrumbs. Okay, so here we go. I think this is getting nice and incorporated. Meatloaf. Okay, I think that's good. Now you can make the meatloaf in a couple different ways. One in a loaf pan, or the way that I'm going to do it tonight is actually we're going to freeform this and make a freeform meatloaf. There we go. So I'm just going to kind of mush out a little bit. Mush it? I don't know if we're going to mush it. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and form it up. And see, it's all kind of bound together with the nice eggs and breadcrumb. Ooh, it's like arts and crafts. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, look at that. Nice. Freeform meatloaf. Looking good. All right. Go ahead and rinse my hands. And the next thing I'm going to do is put the tomato, this is actually ketchup. I've seen some recipes to kind of junk it up a lot with the brown sugar, honey, cayenne and whatnot, but I think what I'm going to do is just put a dash of balsamic vinegar. Now I like this because it's acidic, but it's also sweet. So with the ketchup and the balsamic, it makes a really dynamite glaze for the top of the meatloaf. So we'll kind of go ahead and put there. Okay, how's that? Nice. Looking good. So this is going to go ahead and go, once it goes in the oven, it's going to cook and caramelize nicely. And what that means is that the sugars in the ketchup will get nice and cooked, and will give a nice complex flavor and layering of the overall flavor profile to this meatloaf. All right, so here we go. The oven's already set at 350 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here for about an hour, and then we'll test it. The internal temperature of the meatloaf should be between 145 and 150. With residual cooking, it'll get up to about 155, 160, which is the perfect temperature. I want a little pink in there. All right, so next thing, let's talk about what we're going to serve the meatloaf with. I'm doing a little, melted a little butter here, got a little brown, and I'm going to throw in, this is equal parts butter and flour. And what I'm doing is I'm making a roux. And what I want to do is actually make a kind of gravy, a sauce. I guess this is a hybrid between a bechamel and a, I don't know, I guess kind of a gravy. But what I don't want to do is cook this until it gets too brown. So this is just slightly above a white or blonde roux, they call it. So you want this a little sandy in color. So we've melted the butter and the flour. Did I give the ingredients? It's 5 tablespoons of butter to 4 tablespoons of flour. And here is some warm milk. Now, I've already brought this milk up to a simmer. So when I incorporate it, it's not ice cold. It's not going to bind and seize up the sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly put this in. Whisk, whisk, whisk. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook this for about 10 minutes after we bring it up to a simmer. What we want to do is cook out the flour. Because what it is like if you don't cook it long enough, you'll have a cakey, floury flavor to that. All right, so I just want to get through this real quick and talk about the last ingredients. Over here we have some nice steamed rice. I cooked this in some chicken stock, 2-to-1 ratio. There's 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of chicken stock, some fresh cracked black pepper, and some salt. And for the last thing, over here, we got some peas and carrots, just like Jeannie and Forrest. Remember Jeannie and Forrest and peas and carrots? Anyway, peas and carrots, these are some nice local organic carrots. And that's pretty much it. We're going to have meatloaf with some nice rice, the peas and carrots, and it's going to finish off with this really dynamite white gravy sauce. And then tomorrow when we tune in, I'm going to take some of these ingredients and switch it up and make something entirely new and delicious. Thank you very much. Stephen Gibbs from Hands of Gourmet. I'll see you when we plate this up. Alrighty, back live, the moment that you have been waiting for, the meatloaf. All right, so everything's finished. The meatloaf is nice and caramely. Follow me over here, camera person. Here we go, moving in. Woo! Look at that. Oh my God. I'm going to put it right here up on the counter. You'll see that the tomato, the glaze has got nice and caramelized, got some nice color on there. It's nice and flavorful. Also, we didn't talk about, look at this, sports fans, some good old American biscuits. All right, here we go. So let's plate this up real quick before it gets cold. I'm going to go ahead and slice it up. Ooh, big old chunk of the loaf. Oh man, beautiful. Look at that. Woo! Actually, let's put it like that. And some rice. Go around here. Remember those good old peas and carrots? Actually, we'll put that here. Yummy. And to finish the dish, remember that white sauce that we made? Here it is. Cooked out for 10 minutes, looking nice and satiny. I'm just going to go like this. Oh boy. And one last thing. Put a biscuit here. And I've got a special